Hi everybody, I'm Tam Kamanduri, Women in Aviation Australia volunteer, and I'm also a general aviation business owner and a commercial pilot. So I'm here today to talk to you about transferable skills. Now you may have heard the term transferable skill. It's very popular being thrown around these days. So transferable skills are skills and abilities that are relevant and helpful across different areas of our lives. These can be through a social, professional, or at school. And it's what we call a portable skill. So you'll often hear transferable skills referred to as soft skills. So if you have a look online, you'll find plenty of information about them. Now, people normally think about their transferable skills when they're applying for a job or when they're thinking about maybe having a career change. So employers are often looking for people who can demonstrate a really good set of transferable skills. Now, the good news is you've already got these transferable skills. You've developed them throughout your life, whether it's at school or in sport, at home, in your social life, as well as different experiences through your workplace. So it's very important that you can identify and give examples of the transferable skills that you've developed, because this will go a long way into persuading a prospective employer that you are the right person for this job. So it's interesting to know that most people are going to have at least 3 different career changes during their entire working life. And many of the skills that we use in one career will be transferable to another. And this is particularly known throughout aviation. Now, we just want to make a comment here saying that lack of direct experience is not necessarily a barrier to a new job. So if you think that your lack of relevant industry-specific experience will stop you from getting a job, that's not always the case. If you're changing careers, you've recently graduated, or you're looking for your first job, you'll be pleased to learn that employers are often looking for potential, and it's therefore vital that you can sell yourself and sell your potential by demonstrating the transferable skills that you've already developed. Now, employers are usually looking for abilities and qualities that they recognise to be present in the most effective employees. And these soft skills or transferable skills, such as being able to communicate effectively in a variety of situations, showing initiative, creativity and integrity, and having a good work attitude, are really valuable across the industries. And many organisations will use some sort of psychometric testing in their interview processes or selection processes. And these tests are designed to assess the candidate's personality type, their skills, their talents, and their ability. And it also helps to measure their potential rather than just experience. So there are some transferable skills that you need, and all skills and abilities can be transferable. So depending on whether they're being transferred to and where from. So when you're applying for a job, you should remember the type of transferable skills that you highlight in your letter of application or in your CV or resume should really relate to the position for which you're applying. Now, you might think it's appropriate to list and give examples of the transferable skills that are not included in some of the lists that we're going to go through here today, because there literally are thousands of them and lots of different words and phrases that can describe a transferable skill. And we're only going to cover some of the most common ones. Now, just remember that employers will also be looking at your potential. So there's always an element of risk when it comes to employing new people. So they think pretty carefully about the type of skills that you wish to emphasise, and just pick examples that you can demonstrate to minimise the perceived risk of employing you from an employer's perspective. So some of the ones that I've called out, which I value, are very important to me when I'm looking to employ another pilot or someone to work within our team, is that they're a team worker and they can work effectively in a group or team to achieve goals. Now, many different jobs, you'll be expected to work as part of a team, and being able to demonstrate your ability to work with others really can reassure an employer that you will fit in and you're going to offer a valuable contribution to the team. So just have a think about different examples of when you've worked well with others in either a formal or informal group. It could be even in a sporting community, and where you've achieved results. And if you can give examples of how, as part of a group, you worked on a decision-making, problem-solving, then that's also going to be a valuable example. Now, just think about how you overcome the issues and mention your successes, and use examples from previous real-life experiences, either from education or work experiences, or being a member of a social group. Another one that I put a lot of value on is leadership. If you can show initiative and leadership abilities. Now, you may not be applying for a role that specifically requires leadership, but you may well need to be able to demonstrate that you're capable of learning and leading in certain situations. So there are many skills you need to be an effective leader. So have a think about different examples of when you might have helped to motivate somebody or take responsibility for and lead others effectively, and where this came to accomplishing the objective or the goal that was set. So you should also consider whether you can delegate effectively and whether you're happy to ask for help when needed. Do you possess a charismatic personality? And what can you do to become more charismatic and build rapport with others? Another important one is motivation, organisation and time management. I know I probably ticked off 3 there. So if you can manage and prioritise your workload and time effectively, it's as well as being able to work in a group situation, you're going to more than likely be required to work alone, but also to take responsibility for your time and work. So it's important to be able to demonstrate that you have effective time management and organisational skills. Now, you could mention examples of when you perhaps have structured or arranged resources to achieve objectives, or how you've used your time management skills on a daily basis. Perhaps demonstrate effective prioritisation of tasks and how do you avoid distractions to meet deadlines. It might also be important and useful to think of times when you've been proactive rather than reactive to situations, especially involving workloads. You might want to think about how you manage personal stress levels as well. And when you're trying to meet deadlines or balance numerous tasks, this is quite important. So any job can be stressful, and although a certain amount of stress is beneficial, too much can be very dangerous to you and quite costly to the organisation. So that's a big one there. Listening is another one I think is so important. Are you a good listener? Employers commonly complain about their staff's inability to listen effectively, and Richard Branson rates effective listening as one of the most important skills that we can develop as individuals. Now, in many job roles, you'll be required to understand and process important or complex information, as not listening effectively can lead to potentially costly mistakes and misunderstandings. So we don't want to miss out on opportunities either because we haven't been listening. Most of us can really benefit from learning and practicing effective listening techniques. So why don't you spend some time thinking about and learning how to listen effectively? Written communication, we will need to write accurately, clearly, concisely, and in a variety of different styles across our work. So many job roles require different elements of writing skills. So you might need to be able to adapt your writing style quite frequently. So think of examples when you've had to communicate ideas and information through writing. In education, you might have written essays or project reports. Perhaps you've contributed to local articles or publications. So if you've got examples of your writing ability from past work or voluntary experiences, always include that. Verbal communication, really important to speak clearly and dynamically in a variety of different situations. Now, many employers often require staff with strong verbal communication skills. And if you can communicate information and ideas clearly and effectively across different situations, you are a very valuable employee. So have a think about your verbal skills and how you address others, both face-to-face and in group situations. You could give examples of presentations or talks that you may have given in previous employments. You could demonstrate how you can face-to-face with a variety of different people. Can you be assertive? Are you polite? Can you communicate with tact and diplomacy when necessary? Can you speak in a way to enthuse and inspire others? Can you communicate complex ideas in a logical, ordered and concise manner? And can you demonstrate your ability to effectively negotiate? I think one of the most important things we can do with communication is also keeping a cool head in heated exchanges. All right, so another important one is research and analytical skills. So if we can gather and interpret and analyse information, it's appropriate to demonstrate your ability to be able to research and evaluate information. Although specific skills relate to vocabulary and numeracy may be required, so more generic skills are also required. So you might well have used such skills in your time during your education. So this could be examples of complex information that you've required to work on and make sense of. For example, sales figures or reports, or creating Excel spreadsheets, technical reports and data, that type of thing. Numeracy skills, especially in aviation, very important to be able to work accurately with numbers. Now, you might not be applying or pursuing a career in mathematics or statistics, but it's very likely that some basic understanding of numeracy is going to be required. So most jobs require numeracy skills. Now, numeracy is an area that's frequently quoted by employers as lacking. So it's very important that we can demonstrate that we can work with figures, we can make basic calculations, understand graphs and charts and simple statistics, and recognise the importance of certain numerical information. Personal development. Know yourself and always find ways to develop yourself and your skills. Personal development is a very attractive quality to most employers. By demonstrating that you're keen to learn and progress, you are likely to be seen as enthusiastic and very willing to take on new challenges. Personal development really is about evaluating your own performance and recognising your personal strengths and weaknesses. So it might seem counterintuitive to mention weaknesses to a potential employer, but talking about the action you're taking to improve and learn new skills indicates that you've got good self-awareness. IT, or information technology, being able to use computers and technology is pretty much common these days. Most jobs are going to require that you use your word processing skills or spreadsheets or database software on a daily basis. So if we think of these, think beyond our basic IT skills, we need to be confident in using a computer and being able to learn and adapt to new software and new technology quickly. So these are just some of the transferable soft skills that I believe can be helpful and relevant throughout many different areas of our lives. So if you think back on your own life and experiences and try and identify other skills or other personal skills that you possess that you believe are relevant to what you are trying to achieve. And you could build on these and include these in your resume or your cover letter. Now, what I've done here is I'm just going to screen share with you my slideshow, which I'll also put up on the website for you to download. And it just talks about some of the soft skills and the statistics that are taken from some of the research. So 93% of employers say that soft skills are weighed more heavily when they're looking at job candidates than looking at their academic credentials. So it's very important that we can identify our soft skills. And 80% of workers aged between 18 to 34 believe they're job ready and possess all of the skills, experience and education needed to advance in their career path and obtain their next job. Yet only 16% see soft skills as necessary for that advancement. So in other words, 84% of potential employees don't value the skills that 93% of employers want. So that's quite an interesting statistic. This is just some of the things that employers say about soft skills. And this is taken from National Association of Colleges and Employers report. Job seekers need to start marketing themselves based on skills and competencies and traits that employers need and value the most. And it's quite interesting that a lot of college graduates seem to be falling short in knowing how to work as part of a team, in conflict resolution, and just in overall communications. Also, 47% of employers think that young workers have a poor work ethic. So that's quite an interesting stat there. Some examples of some of the soft skill attributes. So these are just some of the ones, and we've actually identified some of these today earlier in our presentation. And a few of those big call out ones there, you know, problem solving, willing to learn, time management, motivation, listening skills, teamwork, leadership, research skills, numeracy, personal development, IT, communication, you know, all the ones that we talked about before. So it's known that traditionally that one of the most difficult things to teach are soft skills. And it is one of the most common reasons for not hiring and not promoting, because people don't demonstrate their soft skills or don't utilise them. If you focus on your soft skills and you practice using them, you'll actually improve on them. So it's really important to identify the skills that you believe are important for your career goals. You can practice using them at school, you can practice them in your work, with your family, with your friends. You can practice these for performance evaluations at work. There's lots of areas that we can practice using our soft skills on a daily basis. All right, now I'm going to share this with you. There's a little quiz that we can do. It's an online quiz, and what it will help us to identify our strongest soft skills. So what we'll do is take the quiz and get the results, write down 3 of your strongest soft skills, and then write 1 or 2 sentences about where you will use your skill. And then you can refer to that when you're going into perhaps looking at an interview or a job or a career that you'd like to go into. Take the quiz again and see where your strongest skills are, and write your application based around your strongest soft skills, or work on developing ones that you feel are weaker for you. So have a little look at the soft skills quiz, and you'll be able to develop your results from there. So I'm just going to stop sharing this now. Okay, so basically that's all that I have for you today on transferable skills or soft skills. Hopefully you've gained some insight into it. There is so much information on the web about soft skills and how to develop and grow those skills, and how to utilise them best when you're applying for a job or looking at going into a certain career pathway. Don't forget, if you need to, you can talk to a mentor or gain somebody who can help you develop those skills a little bit more. Work with your friends, work with your family, your colleagues at work. And it's really important that we focus on that, because again, these soft skills are an area that we naturally develop, and being able to grow that capability just helps us advance ourselves even further. So all the best with it. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and there's a little workbook on the website as well that you can download. Thanks again. See you next time.